Hello, my name is Bojan Savic, Mercedes-Benz of Scottsdale. I'm here to tell you, why is the G-Wagon so expensive? Why is this G-Wagon so much in demand, especially right now? Why is the G-Wagon unique? And I'm going to compare these two vehicles a little bit. Of course, I have to my right G550 and to my left G63. Instantly recognizable because of the grille. That's how you can tell that right away. So let me start from the very beginning. Why is the G-Wagon so expensive? Why it's so much in demand? Well, for you, some of you that don't know, this vehicle is hand-built in Austria, in Graz, Austria, built by Magna's tire factory for Mercedes-Benz. So entire vehicle is hand-built. And in the case of the G63, you even have your motor hand-built. It is signed by the person that built this motor. So, can Mercedes-Benz just increase the production of this vehicle? No, not really. Cannot do it just like that. Are they looking to build another factory so they can increase the production of the G-Wagon because it's so much in demand? No. The vehicle will lose part of its appeal, part of its allure that it is for the G-Wagon, that you choose the G550 or the G63. It's because it's hand-built. You do not have too many of them. It's hard to find one. It's hard to come by. For the model year 2022, Mercedes-Benz announced they will not make the V8 except in the S-Class. That means no G-Wagon. So if the demand in 2021 was high, in 2022, I don't know how high it's gonna go, but I can tell you that right now the vehicle is getting pretty high. So my second point, why is this G-Wagon so much in demand, why it's so expensive, and what is different about the G-Wagon, what separates it from all the other vehicles? Well, the vehicle was started to be built, as I thought, in 1972 as on demand from the Shah of Iran for a military off-road vehicle, fast attacking vehicles. In 1978, we have the G-Wagon for sale for the civilians, for everybody else. Since 1978 till the 2018, the vehicle is the same look, same style. What does that tell you? It's unique, doesn't follow the fashion, doesn't change when industry tells you it can change. And I can ask to some of you, had the hairstyles were in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, 2000s, we're the same. No, we changed everything. We follow the trends, we follow the fashion. It doesn't. It just doesn't. So it's unique. It's resilient to the change, and it's cool. That is one of the things that makes them unique, that it really stands out towards the many of the other vehicles. Largely unchanged. Virtually, yeah, there was a change in the vehicle, the updates and some of the technology and the features, but largely the vehicle was unchanged. So that is another item or another thing, that made this vehicle an icon out of automotive industry, that earned its respect, that it really didn't change, doesn't have this. So you buy one in the 90s, 80s, 1990s or 2000, for your information, the vehicle started sales in the United States in 2002, so it was fairly late that was brought in here. But that is, the vehicle didn't change. In the 90s and some of the other years it was used as a Popemobile. So it's resistant to change, to stay unique. And when we really go into a deeper, right now they're being sold as a luxury vehicles, because they are. That gives you the many of the amenities, especially since the 2018. So that's what brings the vehicle its uniqueness, its appeal to the masses, its appeal to the very few of us that can afford one of these, that it stayed true to itself. So what is the other thing that's connected to this tightly? Yes, the vehicle is built for a military vehicle, so it is very or extremely off-road capable. I would just tell you to go on the YouTube and look at some of the YouTube videos from all around the world where the G-Wagon was taken and how off-road capable it is. There's a couple of them that were taken around the world, logged for about 500,000 miles, all continents, all kinds of the climates, all kinds of the fuel. They were always able to find a repair. In some of the instances, One gentleman took that, I know the car he nicknamed Otto, was like that the Mercedes-Benz is easier to fix than many of the others. They would find a fix or repair, because trust me, it wasn't always on the pavement. All kinds of conditions, from the weather, from the hot climates to the cold climates, again, all sorts of terrains all over this planet. And the vehicle, very same vehicle, did all this. And those people choose to drive the G-wagon. There is a reason for that. So that's my second point. Why is this vehicle so unique, so much in demand, and so desired right now, and all the indications that will continue so. Before I close this and I tell you why the vehicle is so expensive right now, at least in the US market, I can testify to that. Let me just quickly compare these two vehicles, because I get a lot of questions. What's really the difference between the G550 and the G63? Well, G63 is for 2 inches longer, 192 inches, 190 inches. Where is the difference? Well, if you notice this, the front brush guard sticking out a little bit. It is not sticking out. It's basically flush with the front bumper. So are you buying just the size? Of course not. They're both powered by the V8, 4.0 liter V8, 416 horsepower, 577 horsepower AMG. It's not just the engine that produces more power, but in this case, you do have the AMG MCT transmission. This one, you do have the 9-speed G-tronic transmission. Similar, different, faster, 4.5 seconds 0 to 60 if that's something that you're really interested, or 5.6 seconds when it's on the G550. So besides the engine, what are really the differences and the power and the acceleration? Well, it's a little bit on the appeal. We have the vertically slotted grille, AMG grille, and you have the double lamella with the Mercedes-Benz star in this case. But far as on the vehicle structure, and I told you 2 inches far as on the size for many of the other things, the vehicles are extremely similar. Of course, you're going to get a different sound from the V8 engine versus from the G63 engine, sorry, because the size of the engine is the same. It's going to get a little bit less power, but nonetheless, the vehicle, it's 416 horsepower. It's enough to power any vehicle. Weight for about 7,000 pounds for both of them. So far as on the many of the other applications, those of you that take that off-road vehicles are going to be very similar. Price difference then between two in the US market on the MSRP. So what does MSRP stands for? Manufacturer Suggested Retail Price. In United States, this vehicle starting for about $132,000. This vehicle starting for $156,000. MSRP, Manufacturer Suggested Retail Price. I hope that by this time we all know they are going way more than that right now in the US market. Why is that? Well, part of the answer lies, it is in our demand. Demand for the vehicle, it's, let's just say, crazy. It's off the charts. But did you know that this very same vehicle, this G63 in China, cost more than the double? You can go on the Mercedes-Benz of China, translate the prices, but roughly to tell you, this vehicle at the starting point, it's about $330,000 US dollars. Here is 156. So, would it be worth to somebody to buy the plane ticket, land here, buy the G-wagon and literally drive it to China? Yeah, of course it would. What about our friends in Germany that actually built this vehicle, designed this vehicle, actually in Austria, but you know, $230,000 for the G63, plus. What about the UK? $210,000. For what I'm trying to say, G-wagon is the lowest priced in the United States if you compare it to the rest of the world. So many of the people from the rest of the markets are coming to the United States to take advantage of our low pricing of the vehicle. Right now, you can still see the vehicle is in a high demand. I'll go back when the Mercedes-Benz announced that they will not be making the vehicle in the model year 2022. The price got higher. So, in short, in the summary, the vehicle is hand-built. In case of G63, you have the engine that is hand-built and it's AMG. You have the vehicle that's already established itself as an icon of the automobile industry. there really has no rival in this category. As far as longevity, how long it's in the market, what it means to the market, what it means to the buyers. And another thing is the demand right now that it is globally for this vehicle. And then we have just one factory that's producing that, and everything is done by hand. So what I'm trying to say, that G-Wagon demand is high, and it will remain high. Is the G-Wagon the only vehicle like this? No. I'm sure that the Ferrari owners, or some of the Aston Martin owners, and some of the Lamborghini owners can tell you very similar stories, how they can purchase sometimes the vehicle directly from the Ferrari if they can buy the brand new one, and how much those vehicles appreciated over time. So right now I would like to thank you for watching this video. I hope I brought some of the pricing and demand and answered some of your questions about the G63. And if you have any questions, anything that I can help you with all, of course, if you're looking to purchase one, please give me a call. Bojan, Savic, Mercedes-Benz of Scottsdale. And once again, thank you for watching my video.